Mike Pendleton here, and we're 48 hours removed from one of the most embarrassing Bears loss in recent history. And I had to wait 48 hours. I wanted to do a reaction after the game. I wanted to do a reaction on Monday morning, but we had this wait and see period to see when the team was going to make any changes about their offensive coaching staff. And finally, Shane Waldron is out. Matt Eberflus remains, and I'm going to hit on a few different points in terms of where this team is as a whole. And let's start with where the team is. 4-5. Currently, they have like less than 1% chance to make the playoffs. They had to win that game against the New England Patriots. The game against the Green Bay Packers this Sunday would have meant so much more. You would have had a team fighting their bitter rival for a potential wild card spot. Everything that gets the McCaskies going up there at Hallis Hall, everything that makes the fans buy in. And instead, you got an embarrassment on the offense. The defense was tired. Drake May looked like the number one pick. Caleb Williams looked like a fifth round pick. And the Bears looked more dysfunctional as their 3-game losing streak continued. That's where we're at now. Everybody says, oh, you got to fire Eberflus. They don't do that. During this video, I'm going to tell you some absolutes. And it is an absolute that in their history of the franchise, the Bears do not fire coaches in the middle of the season. It's an absolute. They do not fire coaches. They, at least head coaches, right? So they fire Shane Waldron, scapegoat. Luke Getsy was fired. He was a scapegoat. Little irony, the first two offensive coordinators to be fired this year in the NFL, Luke Getsy, Shane Waldron, both ironically hired by Matt Eberflus. Everyone says, well, until fans don't show up at Soldier Field, the McCaskies won't care. But if they get embarrassed by Green Bay, then they're really going to care. Again, let's go back to that absolute. It doesn't matter. It does not matter. You have had countless opportunities over his 3-year tenure to fire Matt Eberflus, pull the plug, should have pulled the plug bringing in Caleb Williams before you drafted him, and you should have started this whole slate. Brand new head coach, brand new coaching staff, brand new quarterback. Let's all love and grow together. Nope. Same guy, same system, same failures. That's what the Bears kept. That's what we know where this team is. Now, Green Bay, you look and you say, well, I don't know. Maybe the Bears play up. Now, maybe they get up off their ass for this game. Maybe there's no mental lapses in this game. Maybe the play calling is better. First and foremost, another absolute. The offensive line is atrocious, and so has Caleb Williams' play at quarterback. Holding the ball too long, inaccurate throws, missing everyone. But what you got to worry about right now, instead of saying this guy or that guy or this guy or that guy, you got to worry about Caleb Williams being broken, right? You had to make this move so you didn't destroy Caleb Williams like you did Mitch Trubisky, like you did Justin Fields. You know, everyone talks about the hypotheticals with the Chicago Bears. Well, their drafting is terrible. If they would have had Patrick Mahomes, and let me say this before I finish my statement, I am not comparing Caleb Williams right now to Patrick Mahomes, a multiple Super Bowl champion, right? But what you are seeing is a quarterback with a hell of a lot of talent coming out of college, like Patrick Mahomes and Caleb Williams. You're seeing what would have happened if Patrick Mahomes would have been drafted by the Chicago Bears. It would have been the same song and dance, same bad coaching, same bad offensive line, same excuses, same ruined careers. That's just what the Bears do. Again, absolutes. I'm not making this up. Go look at the track record. That's where the team is. We'll see what they do against Green Bay. Maybe that will save the season, not in terms of a playoff berth, but maybe in terms of a little self-respect. Maybe fans will care a little bit more for the rest of the season. You can play spoiler now. Just play spoiler. And everyone said, what do you think? Caleb was going to lead you guys to this amazing record? No. I thought the Bears were 7-10 with an atrocious team, and then they went and overhauled the offense. Thought they made some positive changes to the coaching staff. I expected better than below 500. I expected 500. That's it. Just be better than 7-10. That seems like a far reach right now where this team is. Now let's look at Thomas Brown, new offensive coordinator. Tom Pelissero of NFL Network was first to announce Shane Waldron was fired. Brown takes his job. And Thomas Brown is a guy, very short career in the NFL as a running back. He suffered a major injury, just did cut his career short, and he got into coaching almost immediately. Tom Pelissero also shared a feature that he did with Thomas Brown when he was with the Los Angeles Rams. Thomas Brown ran the college circuit for years up until 2019, almost an entire decade from about, I believe, 2011 to 2019, multiple stops, Wisconsin, Miami, Florida, Georgia, where he played football, South Carolina, where he was the offensive coordinator but didn't call plays. He had all these stops in college, and then he gets to the Rams. And after his first year as a running backs coach, he gets promoted to assistant head coach and running backs coach. Then he gets moved over to tight ends coach and assistant head coach. And just go watch that feature. It's on Twitter. It's on bearswire.com, where I wrote a little introduction on who Thomas Brown is. Listen to that guy. And when I talk about Thomas Brown, you can look and say, yes, last year he was with the Carolina Panthers. I believe he had a stretch of about 5 to 6 weeks where they put play calling duties in his hands, and they were a terrible offense. But so were the Carolina Panthers. So, no, he has not had an opportunity to really prove himself as an offensive coordinator yet. He's going to have a very short opportunity to do so at the back half of this season in Chicago. But just go listen to him talk to Tom Pelissero. That is a guy, when you talk about this coach and that guy, and the Bears need to go fire everybody and hire this guy, look, this may be a far stretch, but I wouldn't put it past Thomas Brown to be the offensive coordinator of the Bears and coach like he wants to be the head coach of this franchise in 2025. That is a guy who cares about his players. That is a guy who cares about his team. He cares about his players as people, and he's got a lot of energy. You know what we've been missing in Chicago from a head coaching standpoint? Energy. A guy who cares, a guy who gets fans off the couch, a guy who makes fans go, I'll run through a wall for that guy. We have not had a coach with charisma and character since Mike Ditka. And all props to Lovie Smith for the job he did. He was well respected in the locker room by his players, but there has not been anyone with any sort of sense of enthusiasm, some self-respect, some self-accountability, and a little bit of flavor. And I think Thomas Brown brings flavor. And if he wants this coaching job, he's going to say, I'm not going to let you fail, Caleb Williams. We're going to figure out, even with an atrocious offensive line, even with your horrible mechanics, we are going to figure out how to make this work. Let's get to work. And who knows? Who knows? The playmakers are there. The playmakers are there. You can't utilize playmakers when the buffoon who is calling plays is handing off to an offensive lineman who's not even a good offensive lineman. He's not a fullback. Thomas Brown, all you got to do is be better than the last guy. And he was awful. He was awful. And the last, to wrap this up, the last part of this whole thing is, yes, Caleb Williams has been bad. I've admitted that multiple times now. The offensive line has been bad. The defense is getting tired. The offense as a whole looks out of rhythm. No connection whatsoever. This team is broken. Dysfunction is the nicest way to describe what's happening with the Chicago Bears this year. But let's not end Caleb Williams' career right now. Let's not talk in absolutes of he's a failure. This is what they're either going to get it right or history is going to continue to repeat itself. It's unfortunately, as a guy who's been talking in absolutes, right? I'm not ready. You can't write this guy's career off yet. I think that's very premature to do. And, for Bears fans who are looking for some reason of optimism, maybe this change gets the players a little more fired up. Maybe the players buy in a little bit more. Maybe a close game or a win over the Green Bay Packers makes people buy in. But what this organization is missing from the top to the bottom is accountability self-respect, and what it means to be a part of the Chicago Bears franchise. What it means to be in the Chicago Bears locker room, from management to coaching. And when you have players talking about the effort of other players on the team, it's embarrassing. And Ryan Poles and Kevin Warren should understand that this is an impatient city. This city will go to war for the Chicago Bears. It doesn't matter if every other team in Chicago is winning championships. The heartbeat of Chicago is the Chicago Bears. So act like it, work like it, show up, and present yourself like you are the most important part of your city, because the Bears are. And the NFL is a lot more enjoyable when the Bears are good, right? One of the most historical teams in the National Football League. They're a laughing stock year after year after year. Let's hope it changes sooner rather than later. And let's hope this change starts to open the eyes of what seems to be a tone-deaf franchise. You kept Matt Eberflus around. Now there's reports that he may not even be fired by the end of this year. So you're going to keep him around. If all you want to be is in the bottom cellar of the league and a laughing stock because you continuously come under expectations, then keep doing what you're doing. We all know the definition of insanity. And some would say following the Bears or being a fan of the team is exactly that. But Bears fans are too passionate. And the city thrives when the Bears are doing well. And it's time that everyone, from the 53rd player on the roster to George McCaskey and everyone in between, start acting like they care as much as those who sit and pay and watch and debate and care so much about this organization, because those in charge don't seem to care right now. And let's hope the firing of Shane Waldron starts to get them to care. It took 48 hours, 24 hours, way too long. And it's a start, but I don't know if the end is in sight. I don't know if the positive turn is right around the corner. We'll see what happens. Follow me on social media for more. Stay tuned. Got plenty of NFL talk. The NBA season, in full effect. So stay tuned. More videos coming to social media. You can follow me on X, also known as Twitter, TikTok, Instagram for more. And until then, we'll see you soon, everybody.